We begin with a trade that just happened earlier today. Sonny Gray, our friend John Heyman, our insider, the first to break it. Sonny Gray going to the Boston Red Sox. Then Jeff Passan with some more details via Twitter. Sonny Gray and cash, and that cash is about $20 million going from St. Louis to Boston to help facilitate the deal. Brandon Clark, the Red Sox #5 prospect, goes to St. Louis along with right-handed pitcher Richard Fitts. There's some more details here from Ken Rosenthal. Gray goes from the Cardinals to the Red Sox. Gray's contract is being tweaked to 1 year plus a mutual option. Gray will make $31 million in 2026. Then for 2027, he's got the mutual option buyout of $10 million. So as essentially, Gray will get $41 million to pitch this year, but he'll be wearing a different kind of red. It's the Boston Red Sox that he's going to be wearing in 2026. What do you make of the deal, Harold?
Well, the Red Sox wanted that frontline guy, and they got him, to go along with what they already have in Crochet and everything else. So they're setting their rotation up to really go win. The one thing that stood out to me immediately when I heard Sonny Gray going to the Sox, Red Sox have been the heavy breaking ball. Now, look back at the Walker-Buehler experiment. It didn't work for Walker because he wasn't a guy that sat there and spins the ball all the time. It's a natural for Sonny Gray. That's what he does. He throws breaking pitches on all kinds of different counts. I think it's a perfect fit for them. I also find it very interesting. Two more things, Robert. One, the money. You can dive into that a little bit more with the details, but then Chaim Bloom is the one operating St. Louis now, and the players that came back, he helped acquire when he was running the Red Sox. So I find all that interesting. But let's talk details with the finances.
Yeah, so $20 million going to Boston along with Sonny Gray. He's set to earn $31 million. So essentially the Red Sox are on the hook for the other 11. And then they reworked the deal for a mutual option for 2027, a buyout of $10 million. Financially, when you look at what this means for the Red Sox, just in terms of dollars and cents, what do you think?
Well, the first thing comes to mind for me, everybody's working one-year deals. You're seeing a lot of that. Guys took the qualifying offer. You're watching deals be reworked to a one-year contract. This is basically a one-year deal because we do have a pending basic agreement that expires at the end of next season that's looming over all the free agency. So without getting carried away, everybody's
about $40 million for Sonny Gray to pitch.
It's a lot.
In 2026.
I heard $20 million of that the Cardinals are bringing back. So it's looking like a fair deal. But I don't think it's the last one. I think we're going to see a few more deals like this, and I think we'll see deals get reworked.
I wonder what happens next. Let's start with the Cardinals. What do you think this deal signals moving forward for the Cardinals this hot stove season?
Well, they've had a drip, but now Chaim Bloom comes in, and poor Chaim Bloom, he's being asked to do what he did in Boston. Revamp our minor league system, get rid of big money. So I think he's going to do the task again.
Nolan Arenado.
Yeah, I think Nolan's going to be moved. I think there'll be other moves.
Brendan Donovan.
I think Donovan's going to be moved. I think we'll see these type of things start to happen as they go try to get younger. I mean, let's face it, the Cardinals didn't draw like they usually do last year. They weren't as competitive as people had hoped, but I think you're going to see a pare down and then maybe a build back up.
What about the Red Sox? What do you think's next for them? Obviously,
they're trying to win.
They're at the top of the market and we've heard reportedly JT Realmuto. Alex Bregman is obviously a high priority. What do you think happens next?
I think all that's a possibility. I think the Red Sox are in it. I think they looked at the Yankees last year and said we can take them down. I think the one team that kind of caught everybody by surprise was the Blue Jays at the end being the one on top.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be a dogfight up there. I don't think anybody underestimated the Blue Jays' talent or their ability to sign players, but they hadn't done it at that point. It was Red Sox, it was Yankees, and the Sox took it to the Yankees this year head on. And I think that gives them a little window into what they think they can do this year.
Craig Breslow has said that finding that number 2 behind Garrett Crochet was a big priority for them. Is Sonny Gray that number 2?
Yes, and Sonny Gray gives you outings. He's going to give you his 30 appearances. He stays healthy. That's what's critical here, is so many starters are not being able to go there. Now it drops Bello down a spots, right?
I think that there's I love Brian Bello. I think that
Bello.
I don't think we've seen his best.
And I tell you what, the way early threw the ball, Harrison's coming. I like where the Sox are headed.
Yeah, me too. Let's bring in JP Morosi for a little bit more information and context. JP, your reaction, Sonny Gray going to the Red Sox.
Big time trade. And I agree with Harold. This really depends upon your conception of this trade, whether you like it, love it, don't love it as much for the Red Sox, has to do with whether or not you believe Sonny Gray is a legit quality number 2 starter in the American League East. I believe that he can be. Of course, he had the brief tour with the Yankees. That did not go well earlier in his career, but he has shown the ability to have success in more of a hitter-friendly environment. You go back to his time with Cincinnati, and of course, and St. Louis just had a difficult season in 2025 to where they are now in a new chapter. I mean, look at the consistency there. Innings pitched. The Red Sox would love to have that same range of 170 to 180 innings, which again has been basically par for Sonny Gray. And I agree with the conversation earlier and Harold talking about the bats the Red Sox want to add as well. I believe there is a good chance they will land one of the 3 following players: Bregman, Alonso, Schwarber. If you add one of those 3 to now getting Sonny Gray, and this is really important, guys, a full year of Roman Anthony. Because when Roman Anthony was rolling, he was about as good of an outfielder as there is in the American League outside of Aaron Judge. I mean, he is an outstanding player all the way around. And I think Roman Anthony's got a chance to be a superstar in this league. And if you get a full year of him, plus a free agent bat, plus Sonny Gray, it's going to be a much more competitive American League East with an improved Baltimore and an improved Tampa Bay as well.
JP, I'll put it this way, though. If they don't re-sign Bregman, and let's say they get Schwarber or they get Pete and they're solo deals, you're still missing at third base. They have to lock Bregman up, and then if you bring one of those other 2 bats, you've gone to another level. That's how I view it. You have to be able to bring – you got to plug that hole over there with Bregman. I get it with Myers up there right now. They're not the same team without Devers or Bregman. I'm sorry.
Right. Well, you're right. And when you look at that lineup right now, Harold and Robert, what do you notice? There's a lot of L's and not a lot
very
of R's.
left-handed heavy.
They need, and that's why, again, I think the Schwarber back to Boston story would be great because he was phenomenal for them over a half season. But that lineup, Bregman, yes, but that lineup, to me, is shouting for a Pete Alonso at first base. That would just fundamentally change that lineup. And again, with third base, yeah, you need to bring in a third baseman, but there are third basemen out there that I think that you could bring in. And again, even, let's say this. Let's say you add Alonso and an Eugenio Suarez as your 2 free agents. As much as you'd love to add Bregman, if you got those 2, that would be meaningful. Think how many home runs would Suarez hit at Fenway Park?
Yeah,
there are some options out there for the Red Sox.
Let me ask you this, JP. Let's shift our attention to the St. Louis Cardinals. I asked Harold about, does this signal the start of the Cardinals being very aggressive in terms of trying to revamp or reset, however you want to term it? What do you think's next for St. Louis?
Next could be multiple moves. I would be surprised, Robert and Harold, if we don't see at least 2 more notable selling trades by the Cardinals, and maybe even more than that. Brendan Donovan, to me, is the name. Brendan Donovan there's about as much trade interest in Brendan Donovan as there is in any other position player on the market right now, because how many boxes you check there? Lefty bat, above average defense, multiple positions. Again, we've talked about the Mariners. They need somebody. To be honest with you, here's the irony. You know who else Brendan Donovan fits? the Red Sox, if you want to talk about that. And by the way, Arenado could fit the Red Sox. I mean, this might not even be the final trade between these two teams this offseason. But Donovan fits the Giants. I mean, so many teams, the Yankees, you could say as well. I was curious to hear earlier, I think you guys were talking about different possibilities of moving around the diamond. The Yankees, I believe, will find a way to get one more infielder, and there are multiple teams out there needing some additional help around the diamond.
I look at it this way, JP. The trade market is open. And that opens, it's not just free agency we're looking at. It opens up every team now.
Well, hopefully this is a sign of things to come for the winter meetings. I think Hot Stove is going to be on the road in Orlando. JP will, of course, be there. And that's coverage beginning Sunday, December 7th. JP, thanks for coming on a little bit early with us.
Thanks, Robert.
I know that you're going to join us a little bit later in the show to talk about some other topics. Good stuff as always.